Vielen Dank to you and everyone at Also Group for this great event. For those who don't know me, Gustavo introduced me already. I'm Bernhard Fauser, Managing Director of HP's Central Europe market. In fact, Central Europe spans more than 16 countries, from Germany, where I'm based today, right through the east of Europe, all the way down to Israel. It's a real privilege to present here and represent HP in person. It's exciting to have an opportunity to share our insights on technology, the channel, and how HP and you as a partner can win together in today's changing market. As you all experience, this is an exceptional time and in work in tech, and most of the topics Gustavo addressed already at the beginning. Whether it's the enabling of home working, and we talked about that one, but it's also home learning and home entertainment. Gustavo mentioning the great Minecraft tool, which also is being played by my son. We're moving now to Fortnite, so this is maybe then the next stage. Our industry has played a key role during the pandemic. Together we stepped up, and we can be proud of our contribution in that area. So to start, I want to thank you for everything you do. There's now light at the end of the tunnel, and even Gustavo talked about other scenarios which are coming secondary during the pandemic, and this is the climate change. However, I see also light at the end of the tunnel for the pandemic. Managing Israel as one of my countries, you can see there, now it's a different scenario there, but that the vaccination works and people came back to a normal life. And therefore, I'm sure, and I also aligned with Gustavo, it will not be a pure physical, it will be a hybrid event. But we need to have this physical touch as we are social beings. And so there is, from my point of view, also looking forward to be in person the next time. But of course, many of the changes we've seen over the past 12 to 14 months will stay after the pandemic. So today I want to consider the role that our industry, including HP and you as our partners, can play now and in the future. And maybe we have some time to take some questions. Change accelerated. 16 months ago, speaking to you from my home would have been unthinkable, or it's unusual that somebody present and sneaked into a presentation and presenting from his home office. Today, this is where I worked since 16 months, where I collaborate with my team, where my children studied, and where my family relaxes. Home working is just one of the examples of the change enabled by the pandemic. In April 2020, last year, Microsoft CEO said, we've seen 2 decades of digital transformation in just 2 months. And he was so right. Now, over a year later, just imagine how much there's been. As leaders in the IT industry, you have all experienced this in different ways. To consider some of the ways you may have to adapt, you perhaps streamlined your online customer experience, leaned into services and subscription, digitalization, or maybe invested, like Gustavo mentioned, into artificial intelligence or machine learning, which is for me the next new and big thing. Either way, we are all evolving because customers have rapidly changed how, where, and what they buy. At HP, we are not standing still, we are setting the pace. We are innovating with new technologies that makes life better and bringing new models to drive customer loyalty and intimacy. It's a journey we are on together with you as our partners. And of course, I need to mention the biggest challenge, and we talked a little bit, or we scratched the surface of the pandemic. That has been the spike in demand, along with the component shortages and bottlenecks that vendors have experienced, and this is still going on. Not only PCs and printers are affected. As some of you know, I'm living here near to Stuttgart, the heart of Europe's car industry, and a lot of friends working in this vertical. I see also the impact among the automotive manufacturers. Factories are moving from 3 shift to 1 shift, or even closing some manufacturing lines because of supply shortages. But this is not only affected PCs and printers, as I mentioned, automotive, it's all across the place. If you're searching right now for e-bikes, if you're searching for special household devices, for consumer electronics, and recently I read even chainsaw makers like the famous Stihl are impacted by the IC shortages and have shortages on supply. Unfortunately, this is a trend which continues throughout 21 and also looking forward in the first half of 2022. At HP, we are monitoring this every day and doing everything in our power to address it. And so therefore, I have to say, please bear with us. Our strategy, advance, disrupt, transform. With the accelerated change, we need bold actions and long-term thinking. And this is what informs our strategy. There are 3 pillars on it, and it put it simply as it is. Advancing our leadership in PCs, we call it personal systems, and in print. Disrupting with new businesses like personalized solutions and microfluidics, and transforming through digital and data capabilities. And in our core businesses, we are on the offense, innovating, modernizing, growing, and exploring adjacencies. Let's go a little bit deeper into what does this mean for personal systems. Today's market is attractive, everybody of you knowing that one. The focus is not only 1 PC per household in the consumer area, it's now 1 PC per person. We see the growth in the different verticals of the PC business like premium, education, displays and accessories, and for sure gaming. We talked about that one as well. And we recently acquired HyperX, a gaming peripheral leaders, and we are proud of this one. But we also have ambitious plans into services like device as a service. And we are having among our recent PC innovations, which are, for example, new Chromebooks, the new Elite Dragonfly G2, which is made by ocean-bound plastics, and we are really proud of the sustainability of this products, but also products like the HP Elite wireless earbuds with a personalized tunings. You can learn more about those products at our virtual booth in this show. In print, 2020 saw a huge demand for home printers, up to 200% in some regions, and how we are now anticipate revivals in the managed print service area and in the office as people returning slowly back to the office. In contractual, one of our focus is to design for contractual experiences. That includes building devices with smaller footprints for hybrid offices or even for the home, with profitability for you as our partners. Leading our print vision is an experience that is seamless, secure, and sustainable without ever running out of ink or toner. One of the ways that's happening is through our HP Plus printing system. This was expanded globally last month, also including through Central Europe and other markets in Europe. Gustavo mentioned it as well before. Every tech decision is a security decision. And of course, something that touches both PCs and, not last but not least, also the printer side. And any connected device is security. It's prioritized by the customer, and with most of the workforce outside a firewall, it is a unique challenge, not only for our Chief Information Security Officers, the so-called CISOs, and for sure a unique opportunity for those who are sitting outside, for the hackers. Based on more than 20 years of security leadership, HP strives to build world's most secure endpoint devices. That include the PC, for sure everybody thinks about a PC, but also the printer, something that's still less understood because every printer is a kind of a small PC. Let's take a short look on a video, please.
Let's regroup on Monday and have the rest of the team join us later on in the week when we have things planned.
Working from home has its pros, but also has its cons. One being the threat of cyber attack on machines like that beauty over there. If Alice had an HP printer with Wolf Enterprise security, it would have stopped me in my tracks. Printers like these make for the perfect hiding place on the network. All I have to do is wait here until Alice points me to my next target.
Got it. I'll get it out to the team right now.
That's right. Come through. Oh, look, it's Alice from HR. Nothing suspicious there. Just like everyone else who got her email. Mr. CTO just fell for my Alice impersonation. A guy like me, given the keys to the kingdom, what's the worst that could happen?
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same.
I think you agree, this scenario is hypothetical, but the reality is very close, and it shows some of the threats we are showing at home, that with this one you have an entry to the core of every business, and therefore it's really, really important to secure our endpoint devices. To demonstrate the scale of today's security problem, cybercrime economy is worth of an estimated $1.5 trillion at the moment. Last year, every connected devices experienced 1.5 attacks per minute. And 91% of the IT decision makers report that endpoint security has become just as important as network security. And these are among the reasons why we launched as HP Wolf Security just last week. HP Wolf Security is a new offering that brings together secure PC and printer with a software and a service. This spans cutting-edge technologies like self-healing firmware, virtualized threat containment, and third, cloud-based intelligence. It is packed with our home and business offerings, with options dedicated to SMBs, enterprise and public entities, and for a flex work offering. This is a significant launch for us at HP in this fiscal year, and its integrated approach is designed to simplify customer security. Another key milestone in this financial year was HP Amplify, our new channel program. This was ambitious with the pandemic in the background. We couldn't have done it without you. 6 months later, and the channel of the future is taking shape. Something I find personally exciting is HP Amplify Impact, our partner-focused sustainable impact program. So the way we are multiplying the sustainable footprint with you as our partners. So far, over 1,000 global partners have opted into this program. And to those that did, thank you very much. We believe HP and you as our partners are a force for good, which brings us to the final trend, sustainability. The action you see HP is taking in sustainable impact are because they are right things to do and because customer demand it. Our approach is defined by 3 pillars, and it's not ending only on the planet thing, our impact on the environment, which is really, really important, as we heard a lot those days, and I heard also my following speakers were going to talk about sustainability too. But we as HP take it one step further. Also, we including people, for example, human rights in our supply chain, how we handle the second and the third tier of suppliers in our chain, including diversity and including inclusion, but also the community, our community we serve and the impact we leave into this community. We see these programs coming live globally at the market. For example, HP recently announced some of the most aggressive climate goals in the industry. These including achieving net zero greenhouse gas emission across our value chain in 2040 and carbon neutrality for our toner and ink supply business by 2030. As I mentioned, there are 2 other pillars, and this is where I would like to give you some example. What does this mean? Through the HP Foundation, we recently awarded $125,000 grant to support UNHCR medical work with refugees and migrants in Greece. And with the non-profit Junior Achievement, we are expanding our HP Live online learning platform to teenagers in Romania, Bulgaria, and Hungary. And last but not least, another thing which was driven by the pandemic, from a concept at a Czech technical university, we used our global network of installed 3D printers to share design files of 3D printed reusable respirators to help protect healthcare workers from COVID. These are just some of the examples how we seek to make a positive impact to our market. So let me conclude. It's often said that the change happens slowly until it happens fast. That's precisely what we've seen over the last 12 months. And while the pandemic will slow down, I predict the pace of change will not. And in an industry, therefore, it's important we continue to gather like this, that we share insights, trends, and thoughts, that we stay closer to our customer, each and other, than ever before. To our partners, a big thank you again for your support. And thanks for listening and tune in, and please continue to stay safe. So if I have some time, I may be open to take some questions, Beate.
Yes, Bernhard, thank you very much for these insights. And there actually are a few questions. Let me start with the first one, and there were quite a few in this area, and this is about when do you think the availability of computing peripherals is going to improve? You said, and we all know, of course, the situation is difficult, but when is it going to get better?
Very, I think this is the spot on question those days, when it got better and when the demand and the supply will balance. And as I mentioned before, we see a shortage, and this is not only the CPUs, the core of our PCs, this is now the standard ICs which are short, and those are the $1 components which are embedded in our products and which are standard components and also used by other industries. So therefore we are battling with other verticals, which we didn't in the past, about those ICs. And with the increase of digitalization, those ICs are used among a lot of other products, as I mentioned in my speech before. So I would say it stays with us, and it's really dependent how we maneuver through, how we are focused to lean up our portfolio and reduce the ICs we have in this value chain, and how we're going to curve out in that one. I see that one is going to stay, unfortunately, with us the full year of 2021. But I see a little bit light at the end of the tunnel, beginning of next year, depending how the different market acts and how it goes further.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And a second big topic in your speech, and also regarding the questions, is sustainability, actually. So what is HP doing differently from other vendors or companies with a sustainability approach? What is your path, the HP path in that?
So there, as I mentioned, there are the three pillars I mentioned before. This is how we live and breathe sustainability since already 60 years. It's not only about the carbon footprint everybody is talking right now, it's also about the community and the people we're working with. So these are two more also really important things, given the global supply chain we are using and the way we are tiering the supplier level. And on the other side, on the pure product development and the recycling of our products, as we know, we are in a supply business, our printers using ink and toner cartridges. So there is a high focus on that one to have a close recycling on that one. We have a recycling factory here close on the eastern part of Germany, where we're recycling our cartridges. We are now going into something in other pilots to increase the recyclability of our products, but also the products we're using within our PCs and printers are really monitored. And as I mentioned, for example, some of our products are based on ocean-bound plastics. So we are working in the Caribbean with people who are gathering the PET bottles from the beaches and recycling them and cleaning them and bringing the plastics back in our ink cartridges or in our products. So this is the reason why we are really looking on that one. And last but not least, we announced recently really increased carbon footprints objectives in our sustainability report, which will be launched in the mid of this year. And you see more of this one to becoming much more advanced, and within our technology vertical, one of the leaders in the way we are handling the sustainability in our company.
Thank you. There is a question coming straight from the heart of the market, let's put it like that. And this is, what is the strategy for the small countries in Europe, especially Eastern Europe? If you could give us some insight where HP is going in this area.
I mean, as I mentioned, so all the EU-based countries or EU partner countries in the eastern part of Europe are belonging to Central Europe, and I don't like this word, the smaller countries and the bigger countries, as I know my diversity belongs all of that one, and there is for sure a big approach on those countries, because I think it's not about the matureness of the different countries, it's not about the wealth, it's about what we can give back to the society as well. And I see there is a lot of, let's say, potential in the Eastern Europe countries, making now the bridge on that one. And that means the footprints HP has in those countries, like I call it out, Poland, Hungary, Slovenia, Croatia, Romania, Bulgaria, is huge. And we're using that one also in our growth plans in the future. And there will be also investments by HP. So this is really a focus from our country, and also with the partnership of also in these countries, we are going to broaden our footprints in those countries.
All right. Thank you very much, Bernhard. Actually, that's all the time we have for now. So
pleasure.
Again, thanks for sharing your thoughts and being open for the question. And we are sure we will hear a lot of each other over the next month and years. Thank you.
Thank you, and all the best and a successful event. Thank you very much for having the opportunity.
Thanks, Bernhard.
Back to you.